In a time before time, a piece of the timeline was cut, and the ends woven together. That piece still exists in its own smaller knot. It is a part of time apart from time that can slide along the timeline, making it a time machine. Those who board the time ship create their own time, weaving a new reality, changing the past. And one can write realities, both dark and bright, into existence. After stealing the time ship from the previous owners and writing them out of existence, the fools have traveled back to 1692, where they hope to find details on a secret concordant, a treaty made between three groups of mages that have bound the history of Boston since that time. Parallax, forced to awaken to a possible left-hand path, had traveled down a long and murderous road, but with his friend's help, he has regained his wisdom. Hannah, who can't remember their past, and now find themselves having written their own family out of existence. Mona, reality architect, and faithful to the God Machine. Ethel Stubbs, the last descendant of the Ward line, and linchpin of reality, though she doesn't yet know it. Together with a stranger, Rex, and Parallax's newly married wife, Elora, these fools have traveled into adventure. They are running out of time.
Welcome to the Fae. It's great here. A little bit strange, a little bit unusual, you might say. And already you've been invited to a tea party with a vampire, perhaps? Sissy, your character is in their element here, but everyone else feels a little bit off balance. In fact, I would like you all, besides for Sissy, to roll your resolve plus composure. And Parallax, I'm going to have you add your gnosis to this roll, because you are actually also somehow tied to Arcadia.
Got 2.
Six successes.
2 successes.
And Victoria, what'd you get on that?
I got no successes.
You got no successes. Wow.
Yeah. A good start.
All right. You may, if you would like, turn that failure into a dramatic failure for a beat.
Oh, yeah.
Great. You gain a beat, and you also gain another beat as I give you a condition. You are now as mad as a hatter. as you have lost all grasp on sanity. You must now behave in such a way that a rational person would not understand. You can do just about anything, but you're taking a penalty to wits rolls until you get into some sort of trouble. When you get into some sort of trouble, this condition resolves and you gain another beat. The two of you who got successes can tell that something's wrong. You're not thinking the way that you should be. Your mind feels impaired. It's almost like you're drunk, except it's different. It's like you're swimming in reality, and the checkerboard floor that you walk across is wiggling from side to side. And then as you look along it, perspective lines become these hard, straight paths directly towards the little tea table set out for each of you. Parallax. You gain a condition called One with the Story. You may, at any point along this journey, expend that condition to declare that something is happening in the story. Because you are aware that what is happening to you right now is that you are not inside a physical reality, but you are inside the Fae. And in the Fae, this is much more like a fairy tale, like concepts and ideas. And you are a published author on folklore. So you know exactly the kind of elements that you can introduce to this game. Anything that would fit a fairy tale. What is our gracious host doing as everyone else stumbles about the room?
I had been holding a dress and asking Alice to put it on. And as Alice is making a face, I can see, I've been watching you humans. You're so interesting. And I love the fact that in any moment, you can decide to be anything. And I wave my hand over the dress and it becomes like a short set. And I'm like, more appropriate, Alice-stair. Alice is so boring. And so now you can be anything.
This is so much gender euphoria for Hannah. It's like, yes. Is it like
an overall jumpsuit?
Oh, amazing.
I thought you'd like them.
And I just realized that Ethyl, who has gone mad, is also in the realm of ghosts. So yes, you are mad, and yes, you are in the realm of death. You may emerge, or nonsensically do anything that a mischievous poltergeist might do. What is it that Ethyl is doing?
Can I affect the non-death world from the world of death?
Yeah, not like super great, but kind of.
Can I pick stuff up?
Depends on the stuff.
Like
Yeah.
a teacup?
Yeah, you can pick up a teacup.
Okay, I am just walking back and forth, holding a teacup, being like, woo! Like it's floating around. I'm going around everyone, like going around their heads. Yeah. So spooky!
I'm loving this.
I'm glad that Ethel's having a great time. I am very happy that we're on good terms now.
But of course.
I like bow. My cool new outfit.
And I bow to her, or excuse me, to they. Alice-stair, can I interest you in some entertainment?
Perhaps what kind of entertainment?
And I remove my jacket. And now Alistair can notice that it is a swim costume, like maybe an overall jumpsuit swim costume. And I point over to a beautiful lake, big, beautiful lake. And I say, I feel like going for a swim. And I just start to walk to a pier that just pops up out of the water. It's just a lone pier. There's nothing around. You can't see really trees. It's very misty, but the water looks so inviting.
And the pier is not like a modern pier, but it's made of like traditional lumber. And the area around this appears to be some sort of forest mostly. Though the trees are some distance away from the water. There's a nice little beach. You're all there. The checkerboard and the table are there as well.
I'm going to turn to Mona and Parallax. Like, this is harmless, right? Swimming's totally fine. Watch each other's backs, guys.
Yeah, this is totally fine.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know any Fey rules about swimming. So I guess if there are any, we'll learn about them now.
Ethyl will take this moment to come back out of death, where I'm pretty sure she's also still naked. I don't think I ever got myself close.
Yes.
And go running off the dock and dive in, screaming, I got an A- in swimming in gym last year. I can swim so good. You want to see? And just start like stroking around in the pool or in the water.
Well, at the very least, I'm going to go after Ethyl.
Yeah, that sounds great. You splash into the water. Mona, you're diving in as well?
Mona doesn't know how to swim, so they're gonna stick their feet in.
Do you want to unfurl your wings and soar across the surface of the lake?
Nah, I'm keeping my wings hidden in the Fey world.
Can I react to her staying on the pier?
You may.
I come out of the water for a minute, and everyone is having such a good time, and I hold out my hand and I say, oh my dear, I understand, but here with me you're special, and you can do anything you want. If you want to fly or swim, you can.
Oh wait, maybe I can swim. Wasn't I just in a lake? Like two?
Yeah, you're just in a lake. Also, You've got dots in athletics, right? Like maybe a bunch.
Just 2. But yeah, I take it all back. I can swim.
You can swim.
Okay, yeah. Mona, is like holding on to the dock and like kicking their feet, just like splashing people.
That's awesome.
Just because like their time in the lake was kind of like still in their heads, so they're keeping close to shore.
Trevor, as you are considering whether to jump in the water and standing by, you feel compelled to take out your pocket watch. And as you do, you feel something in the edges of your mind. You can tell that there's some sort of magic here. Would you like to turn on any of your mage sights?
Yeah, I'll turn on my fate sight.
Roll fate plus gnosis.
4 successes.
With the edge of your sword, you move a part of the ground, and it turns peeling away as if you were turning the page to look at what was hidden underneath. And you can see the entire scene as if it's a 2-dimensional cutaway where you see your friends swimming with the vampire at the surface of the lake. You see a number of strange creatures in the water, but none that seem to be dangerous or threatening to them. down at the bottom of the lake, there are bones. There are many bones at the bottom of this lake. And 4 successes you got on that roll. I think that for a moment, you can tell that there's something special about the bones, but you can't tell what.
No, the bones at the bottom of the lake. Is that from, I could tell that they're there from like sort of turning the pages and the bones are there at the end of the story of this? So, or is it just sort of in the same landscape of the single first page or two?
You think, with your knowledge of folklore, that this is actually revealing a background. It is not foretelling what will happen, but it is showing the scene as it is.
And I try to turn the page.
You can turn the page. And as you do so, I feel like it's you, Victoria, this time. What happens at the lake? Just describe to me the entire scene. You can make anything happen. You cannot control how the others behave, but you can do anything else.
Can I control the bones?
Yes, you can control the bones.
Oh, I want to make the bones into skeletons, and then the skeletons can do some synchronized swimming with me.
Oh, man. The skeletons are fish people as you pull them out of the water, and they absolutely do. And the water turns to be this black, murky color as you are all now swimming in a pit of death. The forest around is in fall, and you can see the bodies of armored European knights crumpled on the side of the lake. Titania, being here still makes you sad.
I don't like it here. It reminds me of too many terrible things that happened that I don't have a lot of control over. My others could be murderous and impulsive. A lot of us sit inside and watch sometimes in horror as our people are massacred on a whim. This was not one of my other selves' final moments. I don't like it here. I understand what you were trying to do, though, and I am quite entertained. And I thank you. I am not angry with you. You did not know.
The sky.
But now I wish us to leave the lake.
And stormy. And yes, as you gesture, you dry yourself off, I assume, and everyone else as well?
Yeah.
Where are you now?
Can I have servants be like on the shore, like holding big, like it looks like maybe pieces of velvet or something that are like towels for everyone?
Yes, and the water itself kind of like drains away, and you are now all standing if you were swimming before. And only mildly damp. What do the servants look like, out of curiosity?
They look like the girl from The Ring. They all look very wet. You can't really see their faces. They're dressed in like white and pale blue. There's no blood or viscera or anything. They look very ghostly, but everyone's hair is covering their faces, so you cannot see a face or expression at all. And they just merely hand out towels. They don't attempt to touch you or dry you off or interact with you in any way.
You have some interesting friends.
They're specters. Specters of people that wanted to stay here and didn't quite make it.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Oh, I had nothing to do with it. Sometimes our realm has a strange reaction on humans, and they don't all make it here. Sometimes they lose bits of themselves and become specters, and then their emotions don't mean anything anymore. Their hair grows in front of their faces as if their faces do not exist.
And at this moment in the conversation, Parallax, you realize that you've been reading it as if it was written on a page. Ever since you turned the page, everything that's been happening has been images and words to you. Would you like to do an action retroactively earlier in the story, or would you like to just be in this scene now?
I kind of want to see if I can't see what the cover of this book looks like. Is that even possible? What would the title be?
It's going to take a time spell. It's going to take a time spell to do that.
I'm not going to risk that in the Fae. I'm going to just sort of immerse myself into this scene. Just
It worked last time. Did it? Wait. Did it?
You could roll a intelligence occult check about time magic in the Fae.
sure. I'll give it a shot.
I feel like you did prevent us from dying in the Fae ones.
Yeah, I wonder if I caused paradox though, and I had to absorb it. 3 successes.
With 3 successes, you know quite a few things based on your previous experiences and your knowledge about how magic works. One thing that you know is that time magic will absolutely work here, but it will work differently because time is not so much just a directional vector here, so much as it is the literal fluid and fabric that this land is made out of. Every story is told through time. All stories are made of it. And the third thing that you know is that while it's probably fine for you to cast time magic here, it is probably not so great for you to have a paradox here. Because if you do have a paradox here, you don't know what will happen, but you do know that Arcadia is supposedly closer to the abyss than the mortal world.
All right, sounds about right. So yeah, definitely not doing that. Not going to risk it. So yeah, I think I'll just immerse myself in the scene and follow along for now.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be risking paradox necessarily when you cast that spell, unless you overreached.
When Titania said that thing, can I put on Fate Sight? Because we are humans in the Fae world, and that's an alarming possibility.
Yeah, you see the doom as they describe it. You sense that not all of Titania's visitors returned from whence they came. And you cannot determine with that fate spell their intentions towards you, almost as if the story has not yet been written, or they just haven't made up their mind.
Cool.
I can see you have questions about the specters, and I will assure you that it are people that try to stay way too long, if that is what you are wondering. You have been here but a flash in the pan.
How time works a little bit differently here, but I guess we haven't been here that long. We do have some responsibilities back in the mortal regular plane.
As you have toweled off, I think that I would like, Charlie, would you describe the next scene? What is happening as you are leaving the lake?
Yeah. It's now all claymation. And what's your name again?
Titania?
Titania. Titania has buttons for eyes. And her limbs have been kind of elongated like a spider's. Yeah, everyone else, it's like claymation. We're made of clay people. We don't have buttons for eyes.
Whoa.
And we're just in a house. There are some like rats scurrying around in one room.
Actually, you are in your childhood house in the suburbs of Boston, except it's claymation, and there's a little claymation burning car here. There's a little claymation wrench and toolkit.
This is my house, you guys. That was my first car.
I'm wondering if these sudden changes of reality are bad for everyone who's noticing it, or does it feel like, no, this is just what's happening because reality is weird?
It just feels like this is fine. This is totally fine, mostly. Nothing bad is happening to you at the moment. Sure, reality seems to be extremely fluid. It's almost like a dream, but not a dream. There's something different about it. Mm-hmm. If you'd like, you could try to use Arcana to figure it out.
Mona hurriedly runs up to a picture on the fridge and rips it to shreds.
It rips as clay would rip. You can ball it up.
Oh, did you see something terrible, dear?
Nope.
Can I tell that Mona's lying?
Yes.
What's the thing you saw? Is it that thing that you and Parallax think about and then all the bad things happen?
No.
No.
Oh, God.
It was just my dead name.
No.
It was just a
Mona
name that...
And Parallax, you have to roll wits composure, and you need to get successes to not think about the timeline.
You said wits composure?
Yeah, wits composure. You might want to spend willpower on this, honestly.
3 successes.
Can I roll to see if I suspect that they're lying?
You can tell that they're not being truthful, but it doesn't seem like lies, and you're pretty good at detecting lies.
I also got 3.
Okay, so good news, bad news. 3 is not enough. You can either fail, a dramatic failure, or succeed at a cost. If you succeed at a cost, you will gain a condition, but you will succeed of not thinking about the timeline. It's a tough choice. It's kind of a prisoner's dilemma. So I don't think either of you can know what the other one has chosen. Will you send me now whether you choose to succeed at a cost or fail via the chat? Trevor.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to message this one person. There you go. Figured it out, I think. There it is.
Well, one of you has chosen to succeed at a cost, and the other has chosen to fail. Parallax. Your hair falls out. All of it. Your arms feel weaker, and you gain a condition. Frail. You take a -2 penalty on all strength-based rolls. As this soaks into your reality. Titania, something is wrong. You get a bad feeling. Something is not good. Something is happening, and you're used to change. But this is like the world is slipping into the nothingness on the edges of the story. It's like the entire story is being lost. And those girls with their faces covered with hair, they no longer exist. They are just gone. They never existed. You remember them faintly, but they never existed. The whole landscape, the whole claymation apartment is now no longer an apartment. It is a small metal room. It's clear that someone has been sleeping here from the claymation straw and rugs. There's a claymation, it looks like a pot that someone's using as a toilet. There's a claymation door, and the claymation door has bars over it, and the claymation bars are iron and jagged pieces of copper. Outside, a stop-motion shadow flickers by, and you all feel sick to your stomach. Mona, you did this. What are you saying or doing?
Okay. I'll admit it was a painting I had drawn for my mom of my future car. I had signed it with my true name. Just can't have that out there.
That's very reasonable, but now we're in jail.
Eh?
We're in demon jail? That was a really creepy, horrible thing that just... Titania, is this part of your home?
I didn't do this.
Am I inside or outside of the jail?
You're in the jail. It's not really a jail. It looks as though you could leave through the cell door. It's not obviously locked, and in fact, it has there's no door handle. It's just like a swinging iron portcullis.
Huh.
I don't like being part of someone else's bad dream. I don't know whose idea this was, but I'm going to find out. And I want to snap my fingers and I want us back in the checkerboard room.
Didn't work. And you're scared now. Something's wrong.
I pull an orb out of a pocket. This is my finest spiderweb obsidian. It is made to break me out of any holding. And whatever is holding me will then be contained inside the orb and its spider webs. So you have two choices. You can tell me what is going on now and end up inside the orb forever. Or I can cast my spell and get us all out of here, but you only get to go if you're honest.
There's a maniacal cackling, and not just one person. It sounds like many people coming from the hallway outside the iron door.
Truth now.
Parallax, you feel something tickling at the back of your mind. A desire to look at the front of the book now. Wouldn't you love to see what the cover is called?
Oh, yes, I will. I will love to see what it says. Should I roll time magic to see?
You should roll time magic.
All right. 4 successes.
It's called the truest timeline. The first timeline. The story that they didn't want you to know. By Matthew Durham. Your sleeper name. Would you like to flip through the book?
Yes.
It feels familiar as you do it, because you have done this before. This is exactly the action that took the previous Parallax and bonded him the Prince of 100,000 Leaves. This is the act which caused all of the drama which unfolded over season 1. You were in a Mysterium library and you opened up this book. You remember it now, even though that was a different life, because you can somehow see not only this timeline, but the timeline of every Parallax that has been so far.
I shut the book.
Oh no. It's too late. Because as you look through, you are spellbound, flipping through the pages, and you understand that the first timeline of this world was a timeline of strength and blood, was a timeline of gods killing gods and reveling in the slaughter. Vampires, werewolves, and mages, all killing for the strength, the pride. This is the story of Cain. This is the story of all of his ilk. They birthed this world, and this is the world that should have been. But it was taken from us. Standing next to you in the room, there is a figure. It is not Nega Parallax. It has no face, but you know who it is. The first time that you've been in the room with them, and they are a claymation. They have long, spindly limbs. Too many to be human, but yet they seem as if they might have once been humanoid. Their singular head has 3 eyes with one placed in the middle of the forehead. Their skin is tanned, but pallid. Death has touched them. They swivel their head to meet your gaze, and you know that you will never be able to forget this timeline now. You have been entirely corrupted by it. Except that when the other Parallax encountered this situation, he already had 4 wisdom. And what you are now going to do, and you must succeed on, is roll your wisdom.
Okay. I'm glad I have 7 wisdom, I think. I think that's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
You want to spend any willpower on this?
Yeah, it's my. I'm gonna have to spend the willpower here. So I roll 7 dice, right? That's how this works.
That's right.
I'm gonna spend the willpower.
It's 10 dice. You got a very good chance of succeeding. Well, at least rolling a success.
Uh-huh. 3 successes.
You can feel the forces of this book taking over your mind and soul, and you know that it is wrong and must be destroyed. Whether this was the original timeline or not, who the heck is telling you that? That sounds like total bad. It's not true. You don't believe it for a second. You can take an action here in this other realm if you would like. The sword feels hot in your hand.
Yeah, this is I'm in the Fae right now. This is probably not even a real. I'm probably my mind's being messed up by the Fae, and I'm no idea. What book is this? This is something that my imagination cooked up. Probably not even that real. Yeah, this guy that's in front of me, weirdo. I don't know who he is. Man, what do I want to do for my action? I feel like I got to destroy the book. I feel like that's probably the best move, or try to at least.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to take my sword and I'm going to cut it down the middle.
Yeah, you don't even need to roll, but why don't you roll anyway? Dexterity plus weaponry.
Nice, 2 successes.
With a flick, and then another flick. You slice the book, and the leaves, all the pages of the book, go spilling out all over reality. And it's clear that the figure is displeased, horrified, as you take their entire timeline and scatter it amongst all the other pretender timelines. And it gropes, trying to collect the pieces of that timeline. And you feel powerful here.
Can I react while I'm watching all of this?
You're not watching any of this.
Oh, okay.
It's all happening outside the edges of the page.
Okay.
Like you're inside a comic book, and Parallax is the reader. And standing next to the reader is, a horrifying monster. But also, you just took the book that had all your friends in it and cut it to pieces.
Do I know what use fate magic to figure out which page they're on?
Yes, you can roll Fate Gnosis.
One, 2 successes.
You see it. It's a page describing the living accommodations of Rukavira, the flesh hub of the land of the broken shell. And you pick it up and you see all of them illustrated. It's very clear that the vampire is yelling at them and holding some sort of orb on the page. Frozen in this moment, you feel that same pull towards the center of this room that you felt back when you first met Titania. Do you remember when the room cracked? You met Titania and everything cracked around space and time, and you felt like something strange was happening, but you were like, it's the Fae. No, it's happening here outside the story as well. Also, a demon prince, a rank 9 abyssal threat, is going to try to destroy you. You have an action that you can take. It's going to take an action as well.
I am going to grab another page from the book.
Okay.
And on that piece of paper I grab, I'm going to use my condition, one with the story, and create it so the story ends, or the demon's story ends with the destruction of the book. And that page, it basically represents that he basically turns to nothing as his timeline is destroyed.
I'm going to say that you pick up that page, that other page. And it's not, this book, this timeline contains no ending. That is its whole purpose. It never sought to ever have an ending. This is happening outside of the purview of its own story. But you, for a moment, see yourself inside a vast library where there are many books. And this is just one. One feeble, destroyed book. There are other whole, intact tomes around you. And you sense that on a page in one of those other stories, this story is written out of existence. There is a story to be told which destroys this timeline entirely. But it will not be found within the timeline itself. Oh, right. A demon tries to kill you.
You need me out of this book, man.
Reflexively activate any of your mage armors. Oh, man, he's got...
Yeah, definitely putting on Fate armor. I have no idea how I'm going to get you guys out of the book. Any ideas?
Write us in a new one.
Aren't you a Time Lord?
Yeah, but so is this demon.
Couldn't you roll to see? You've stopped time. Are you able to go back in time, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Sure.
You could go back in time to before we were in prison. And before she looked at the picture all together.
Parallax, good news. I only rolled 3 successes on those 15 dice. So you only take 3 points of probably lethal, not even aggravated damage. Just lethal damage. Like knives. Like knife arms. And you know what? I feel like it's appropriate. You lose your arm. Yeah, just the one that you block with, not your sword arm. You reach up reflexively. Knife arms just right through the bone.
Yeah, go back in time to when you
I can make you a new one again.
Yeah, you need to get us a book. But if you go back in time, then we're not in the book anymore.
You take a beat because you gain the missing arm condition.
Yay. Oh, no. All right. I guess I will try to go back in time the 10 or so minutes before Mona
looks at the picture at all.
Yeah, before
before Ethyl says anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. So, roll time gnosis. You can do this. It's a strange experience for you. And you also haven't been adding yantras, I don't think, to your spells. Remember, you can add bonus dice if you do certain things.
All right. Well, this time I don't think I'm going to need to have to do that because I got 6 successes on that roll.
Okay. You will yourself into another story, and you feel your consciousness as if you aren't in a physical body at all. Flip away into another story, just like lying open next to some chairs in this infinite multiversal library. As you pass into that story, you find yourself on the page just before Ethel's about to say anything. It's like a comic book now. So the claymation is a now claymation comic book, and Ethel's got this big word cloud popping out of their head, and you can kind of just bat that away or like silence. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna like slap the air bubble, and it's gonna like fold like a piece of paper around my hand. I'm just gonna like roll into a ball and just be like, "Yep, and none of that. We're not doing that today."
I've got a question. With that exceptional success, would you like to gain a beat or undo the damage that you just took?
Oh, undo the damage.
All right,
Definitely.
your health goes back and your arm is back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Mona's house, everybody.
Do I still see Mona pull the picture off the fridge?
You do still see Mona pull the picture off the fridge, but actually, I believe that your madness has gotten everyone in trouble. So you resolve the condition and gain a beat.
Oh, all right.
I know, shucks.
So I see Parallax get rid of what I was going to say, but now I'm not insane anymore.
Yeah, you gain a little bit of clarity, like something bad was just about to happen. It's like your fate magic is tingling.
Oh, I don't have a good answer. I'm just going to give Parallax like a death glare right now, and go back into the land of death because I'm pouty that he took away whatever I was going to do. I don't even know what it was, but I'm upset that I don't get to do it now. Back into the land of death.
And yeah, Sissy, what would you do? You are now back in the claymation garage.
Can I tell anything happened at all or no?
No, it doesn't seem like anything happened from your point of view.
I want to say that I'm like looking around and I'm like, this was interesting for a moment, but I'm curious. What's your story, Alice-stair? I want out of the claymation. I'm bored, so I'm like,
yeah, Alice-stair,
your story.
What happens? What's this? You feel the narrative control just shunted upon you, and you feel like now it is your time that you must say what happens.
Ooh. I mean, the first thing that came to mind was the last time my brain told a story, which was back at the Danvers Asylum. So that would be the first thing that came to mind.
To be locked up in the Danvers Asylum.
No, it was in my brain. It was the Land of Oz.
Right. But
so does the Land of Oz pop up around us?
It's also the Danvers Asylum where the Tremere are experimenting on you, and it's not really the Land of Oz. It's much more sinister than that. The Land of Oz was a coping mechanism that your brain went into from your childhood. So, give me some details about this scene. What does it all look like?
Oh, man. So it's in the really cute village that you started on. Everything is hyper saturated, and like a little bit shiny, and like a little bit like when your eyes are kind of wet, and it's got that little refraction-y bit. And it's really pretty in terms of like the color and light. But if you look at the buildings, it's kind of like everything is AI generated, but really poorly. So like things aren't quite lined up. The lines don't really work. There are some of the people who live here who are small in stature, but they've got like too many fingers if you look closely. Their mouths are a little bit big, like their eyes don't quite settle into their skin right. Like everything just doesn't look right, but it's very shiny and colorful.
Yeah.
Singing over in the corner.
Can they see me? And am I a patient or a doctor?
I think everyone is kind of like when the characters in The Wizard of Oz come out of Oz and they've just gone through like their makeover scene. So everyone's like kind of in fancy clothes and like dolled up.
So it's not clear that you're in a mental institute. It looks like you're in the Land of Oz.
Yeah, we're inside the coping mechanism.
Are there any warning signs besides for those odd lines?
So there's like the singing, like it's like the high-pitched singing, but it also kind of sounds like that high-pitched song that your brain turns the sound when a doctor is drilling into your teeth. Like very high-pitched and kind of like drilling.
Can I react to what I'm...
Sure.
I walk over to Alice-stair as Alice-stair is now a small Alice-stair. You said they were a child, right?
Like there are other people here, but they're very small. So I'm not...
No. I was saying...
I definitely look very uncomfortable.
No, I was saying you were having a memory from your childhood, correct?
It's
no?
kind of... it's the memory of the coping mechanism world that my brain made when I was being experimented on / tortured.
Okay, but were you little when that was happening, or no, you were an adult?
No, I was like college.
Like a college student.
Okay. I wanted to get a feel for how old you were because it's kind of important. All right, so I want to walk over to college age Alice-stair and see how different they look. And I have a frowny face, and I'm like, oh, this memory, this place. And I'm shaking my head. I'm like, we can make this better. And I want to shake my head. And while I'm shaking my head, I become Glenda the Good Witch. And I hug Alice-stair as tightly as I can. And I say, we don't have to be here anymore. And I want us to all go back to the table now. I think this part of the story, I'm not bored anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not just entertained. Now I actually am feeling for this being, because they were trapped inside their own head. And that is basically my story, is that I have shared a body horcrux with so many beings, and I have to watch in horror as they do whatever it is that they're going to do. And I don't have any control of it. I'm like a passenger in my own body. And I relate to you immediately. And I'm like, no, we're not going to be here. And I hug Alice-stair and I wish us all back to the table. Can I do that?
Yeah, you're all at a tea party now. Ethyl is still a ghost.
Right.
But there's now a teacup that you could wave around, except it doesn't seem as exciting to do so anymore. Parallax, throughout the last scene and in this scene now, reality is still cracking in a very visible way. And while the story has moved, transferring from location to location, that crack in reality is perpetually about 7 feet to your right and above you.
Can I see the crack in reality now?
You all can see it. You've been able to see it this whole time, but you've kind of just been dismissing it. It's kind of just a detail of the scene. So it doesn't seem important to you at this moment.
It kind of feels like that's just part of the Fae world.
Yeah.
Does my fate sight say something about the crack?
Yep. Do you want a divination with some time magic on the crack, or do you want to...
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
I will use the Yantra this time. I'm going to take off very carefully, take off the little glass casing for my pocket watch and sort of just look at it like it's a lens and to the crack and see if that tells me anything.
Oh, yeah.
3 successes.
All right. You get to ask 3 questions.
Okay.
And actually, did you add a +2 bonus for that case?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, roll 2 more dice. So maybe it's more than 3 questions.
I got 1 more success.
All right, 4 questions.
Let's see. These are yes or no questions, right?
They are, but my answers don't have to be yes or no because you're such a powerful time mage.
Can I cross through the crack?
You see yourself reaching a hand into it, but not passing all the way through.
Will I die or get hurt or maimed by trying to traverse the crack?
You see yourself pull your hand back, uninjured. It seems that something is in your hand.
I'm very curious about what that thing is. Is this thing I pull back magical?
Yes. It is magical. The essence of magic itself. It thrums with a heat that feels familiar. And as you look at it, you can tell that it is a crystal in the exact same size and shape as the glass that you removed from your pocket watch, which, as you are asking this question, shatters into pieces in your hand. What is your last question?
Can I merge this piece with my pocket watch?
It fits seamlessly.
Cool. I'm gonna go do those things. I'm gonna go to the rift. Gonna reach in. Hopefully grab it. And it's gonna basically play out as you just described it. It's gonna be like, huh. And then the thing shatters and like, oh, how fitting.
Collect this stone. You can sense. And you all see Parallax reach out into a blinding green flash of light and remove something and put it onto his pocket watch. His eyes are not here. His eyes are like looking through all these different timelines at once, and you can see every timeline as a book, and you're in a vast library of books, and you can jump between books, between stories, because you have just gained a dot of time magic. What was your time magic before this?
I think it's 5. Now it's 6.
What?
That you are an arc master of time.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What does that even mean? What does that mean?
Can I do anything now that we're back at the tea party and he's done his tasks?
Assuming that you would like time to behave as Parallax? Parallax is time just flowing for everyone else?
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I noticed that we're all back at the tea party, and I want to walk over to Alice-stair while I'm still dressed as Glenda. But it's now become like a black version of Glenda, the Good Witch. But it's still like a big poofy ball gown. And I walk over there and I kneel and I want to hold their hand and I want to say, being mad in the Fey world is an adventure. Being mad where you're from is a nightmare. I would like to give you something for your realness with me in your story. And I would like to tell you all that you were all happily drugged for the last few hours.
Oh yeah, you guys been tripping. Y'all been on like Fey LCD, and you feel.
I was smoking a funky cigarette the second you guys showed up, and I never stopped smoking it.
Wait. Would my body control have been able to tell, or is this because it's Fey magic?
Yeah, if you had been aware that was happening, you would have totally been able to just parse the drugs out of your system. If you had used Life Sight at any point during this entire adventure, you would have been able to tell that something was not right with your body chemistry. And
so I want to explain to them, I wanted to see what you really would say if you weren't terrified. And boy, was it entertaining. But your story, oh my dear, rips at my heartstrings. And I see you all now. So I would like to give you all a gift to help you on your way. You may accept it or leave it here, and this is the one time I will not be offended if you decide not to take my gifts. Ethyl, darling, I can see you flittering around as a ghost. Maybe you want to be a ghost, maybe you don't. So I pluck a jewel off of my necklace and I say, this is one of my former lives, dear. Live it well. And I put it in Ethyl's ghost area. And I say, you can be human whenever you want, and you will take on this guise. You won't have my power or anything, but you can be someone else for a little while, and you can fool other people if you're in a pinch.
I'll take it and I'll put it into my special magic skull bag that Byron's normally in.
Alice-stair, you specifically, my darling. You are in a prison. So I give you my prison. You may use it at any time. Also, you're in a pinch. It will imprison everyone around you except yourself and your friends, but you must say so when you use it. And they will kept inside said prison until you decide to release them. No other magic will release them except your words. It is tied to you. Do you want it?
Thank you. And thank you for understanding.
Mona, You wore my spider webs with such flair. So I gift you some. Should you need to bind anyone, they are unbreakable. And they are light as a feather. If you need to climb down anything, also in a pinch. And I hold them out and I say, will you accept them?
Yes, I accept your fey gift. Thank you.
Parallax, most interesting of all. My darling, I have tasted a drop of your blood on my fingers as I cleaned you off, and I know that you are special. I do not know how. But I know that you could benefit from a lot of power. Even though you seem to be powerful as it is, I sense that there is something chasing you. And I tell him that I will give him 1 drop of my blood and that he will not be tied to me if he accepts it.
You can't make that promise because he will.
Oh, okay. Well, I offer you 1 drop of my blood. It will make you impossibly strong. And you can also return to the Fae whenever you wish if you need me. You and I will be tied together, and should you be in any danger, you would now be my child, and oh, as you can see, I'm a terribly, terribly protective mother. I will come for you, my son, if you need me.
Wow, that is a very, very generous gift. But wouldn't that make me a... What's the word? Not vampire. Is that right? Vampire? No?
Not 1 drop, no.
No. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in. Let's do
Great. That happens. You drink some blood.
And now I say, and now will you tell me why you are really here? Now that we're friends, what do you need from me? Why are you here, my friends?
We need to recharge our ship.
Your ship. What do you need? What can I do?
We need a lot of mana. Long story short.
You don't know what that is. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Oh no, sorry. That's for Sissy. Sissy doesn't know what mana is.
Mana. What is this mana?
It is the energy we use to cast spells. So long story short, our original timeline was destroyed. And the only way we can potentially get back is through our little ship. But it only has so much mana or power to actually run it.
Can I send them to a place in the Fae that I think could maybe help them? A place of power that they could possibly get what they're looking for?
You could send them on an adventure through the Fae, but you don't know where mana is because you don't really know what it is.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure if this is what you were looking for. But I am thinking or supposing it might be some sort of animus or life magic that you are looking for. And if that is what you are looking for, you will not find it here. Unfortunately, most of the things around me are in fact dead. So you won't really get what you need here. But there are plenty of places in the Fae that are very, very lively. You definitely need all of my gifts there. If this is something that you wish, I have a portal, a tree that will take you part of the way there. I cannot take you all the way there, but I can take you part of the way there. Do you wish it?
Team?
Yeah? While we're here, I think it'd be great to get some energy back before we go back and beat those jerks up. I forgot who it was that was attacking us.
Yeah, no, this has been really nice getting to know you. I think you're really cool. You know, I don't usually have good experience in the Fae realm, but I just want to say thanks for all your gifts and your help. I've normally had scary situations in the Fey realm, but this has been awesome. I'm so glad that we have a cool ally in here. This is great.
So now I am intrigued by whatever this mana is, and I only have one small request, and that is that you do return to me and my home before you exit the fairy realm, and you give me whatever a little bit of this mana is. I'm terribly excited.
I'll give you some right now. I have prime magic, so I can put mana into
Anything you'd like.
Can I put it in the teacup?
What does it look like when you put mana into the tea?
My nimbus appears, and you see the gears, a halo of gears, and Mona kind of wipes the gears because they're lubed up, they're oily, and the oil and just slicks a drop of oil off their fingers, and it drops into the tea.
I take the teacup and I have a sip.
As unfortunately, as a vampire, you can't drink tea.
Okay.
But I mean, you could put it in your mouth.
Okay. Would I absorb the mana if I put it in my mouth?
You don't know. You don't know what mana is. But yeah,
okay.
You put it in your mouth.
I try. I'm adventurous.
You still can taste tea to some degree, and it tastes a little bit different. You can't tell, really.
Perhaps it's just a human thing. That's fine. But I still would like a drop of fairy mana, whatever that means. Maybe it's different.
Is a commotion in the hallway of this room. And several of your servants back into the room, startled and confused.
What's the meaning of this?
Backing them into the room comes a figure wielding a cold iron axe. You can tell that it's cold iron because you are weak to cold iron, in fact, as a fae. Cold iron is like your silver to werewolves. It really hurts and you can't really heal from it very well.
Well, I'm super quick, right?
You are, but it is in fact Alora. Her hair is longer. She's got a scar over one eye now. She's in armor, wielding an axe, and has definitely been doing strength conditioning for some time now.
Whoa.
And she says,
oh, no, it's time.
Thank goodness I found you. We need to get out of here now. And that is where we're going to end this session.
Oh, no. How long have we been in here for?
I don't know. Are you going to tell me who Alora is?
It's Parallax's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Parallax's wife.
Cool. I was about to kick you out. I was trying to kick you guys out anyway. I hope you guys tell her that. It's like, yeah, she gave us all this cool shit and we're about to leave. So let's get the fuck out of here.
Is still sleeper wife? Or have we awoken?
Well, she's a sleepwalker, so she can see magic. She's been to the Fae, I believe.
Yeah, she was in it the first time, I think we were here. Yeah.
But she's older and closer to Parallax's age now.
That's kind of true. But yeah, Sissy, you've been such a wonderful guest star. I am so appreciative to have you as part of the family. And we'll definitely be back to the Fae and varied and exciting fun adventures.
Part of the D&D that I really enjoy is getting weird gifts along the way that help you out of just these crazy situations that you have no idea how you're going to get out of. And the thing that made me think of going back in time was actually our vampire game. How we saved everyone was by going back in time and making Seth not be a vampire. And so then Ramona's humanity was saved. And it changed everything. So just a little bit in time can change the course of events. And now you guys know that this big, the big bad is like out for you and is like just waiting for Parallax to fuck up in some way. Like, I just need my in. Whatever that is, like, it seems to really, really want you because of how powerful you are. It's like, it seems like equally powerful. So it's like, we need to rumble, to claim time dominance or whatever. I really enjoyed playing with you guys, and I hope that the beginning of the story, the changing of the dress, I really wanted that to be something that was definitely in the podcast, because it's something that me and Rudy talk about it all the time, but I am extremely supportive of people wanting to be whatever they want to be.
Bye. Well, everybody, of course, you get beats. You get beats not only for playing, but I want to give a beat for exceptional role playing to Ethyl and the flying teacups, for Parallax and all of the awesomeness, and for Hannah and that really dystopic Wizard of Oz. Mona, I don't know. The claymation. No, you know what? Take it for the claymation. We couldn't have had claymation monsters without that idea. So great role playing all around. You resolved a supernatural conflict, so we're at 3 beats. 4 beats for everybody. Parallax, take another one. Take 5 beats.
Ooh.
And then aspirations and obsessions.
Did I kill the frog last time?
No, the frog is missing.
Oh no, I did not get closer to my aspiration of getting rid of him.
We should have asked her about that, though.
Yeah.
Oops.
Sorry, Parallax.
Oh, and the life spell on the frog has run out. And with that, we're going to end this game. I'll see you next time. Wonderful playing with you all.
Thank you.